Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who committed the crime. Of course, as you stand before me today, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We will set your conditions of pretrial release this morning. That is your bail or bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll happily appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney who's here in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail, please raise your right hands and be sworn. Y'all solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Courtney Corbett.
Good morning, Your Honor.
How are you doing today?
Very well. Rick Visconti on behalf of Courtney Corbett. Judge, she had turned herself in yesterday on a BOP warrant.
Right.
And with regard to that, we have talked to probation, and they're amenable to, if she enters an admission to the violation on that case number, to a 90-day jail sentence with credit for time served of 90 days.
Okay.
And I also advised the clerk that she was on probation for another case number, and that's 17MM 000047. She'd be prepared to admit to that. Probation indicates that she could unsuccessfully terminate that. And I believe she still owes $309 that she'll need to pay.
Right. Where did she do the time?
She last year she had done the 90 days when she got these two charges.
Was it here or was it someplace else?
No, it was here.
Okay. All right. State, you have any problem with any of that?
No, Judge, that was the agreement between Ms. Dunbauer and
Okay. All right, Courtney, you understand by entering an admission to a violation of probation, you give up the right to have a trial to the court, the right to confront the witnesses against you, but you want to give up those rights so we can resolve your case today?
Yeah.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yeah.
All right. In case number 16MM4015, do you admit that you violated your probation?
Yeah.
Accept the admission, find it's freely and voluntarily made, revoke and terminate the probation unsuccessfully, adjudicate you guilty of the underlying charge. If that wasn't done before, sentence you to 90 days in the county jail, credit 90 days served. There'll be a $50 cost of prosecution and your cost of incarceration. That takes care of that case. I will just go ahead and unsuccessfully terminate your probation at 17MM47. That, I think, should take care of everything you have going on in Hernando County, Courtney. If there's nothing else keeping you at the jail, you will be released today, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. Have a nice weekend.
And Christopher Potts.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, how are you today?
Very good, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Potts, what's your date of birth?
06/27/89.
All right, Mr. Potts, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Neal. He found probable cause for 2 counts of sexual battery by a person in familial or custodial authority. Mr. Brown.
If the court please, there was a warrant. We stipulate to a finding of probable cause for purposes of this morning's proceedings. Judge, Mr. Potts found out about the warrants through the sheriff's website page or Facebook page, which is called something like Manhunt Monday. Having found out about that, he contacted my office and arranged for a voluntary surrender. He did do a voluntary surrender on the warrant, knowing, of course, that there was no bond endorsement on it as well. He's a lifetime resident of Hernando County. He's been gainfully employed until Manhunt Monday, at which point he lost his position and no longer has employment. His family is very supportive. They are here with him this morning. His mom is blue, right behind me. They are willing to watch over him and to help him out during the time period that he is waiting for the charges to be resolved. The endorsement from Judge Neal, as I understand it, says bond may be set at first appearance, but was set at no bond prior to that time. We respectfully ask the court to set bond in an amount which is reasonable for his circumstances. I understand that the charges are severe. These are things which have been bandied about during an ongoing dependency case in Judge Toner's division of the court. So it's not something which is new.
Right.
Not
Allegations, sir.
Yes, sir.
Half full.
Yes, sir. So with that, would respectfully ask the court to set bond in the amount of $5,000 in the aggregate.
Okay. State.
But we would just ask the court to go within the bond schedule for each count on this. I do not have any information regarding the case. Just know that it was a warrant. Mr. Potts has a misdemeanor battery from 2010 that was ultimately dropped on his criminal history.
What's the schedule? I got it.
I can give you a moment to look for it.
And Mr. Potts, I'll have an address for you on Broad Street. Is that where you live these days?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been there?
Like 6 months.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Brown, you've been retained for the whole defense here?
Yes, sir.
It's not pulling up on this judicial website, Judge.
It's out there somewhere.
Yeah, so it is.
It's like that. Know how far apart we are.
Judgment for victim, well, says Eleanor Station 12 years of age or older but less than 16, under 18 years or older, 10,000.
Right? And then the other one is battery by person who's in custody. 794-0118B.
10,000.
Okay. All right. What I'm going to do is, Mr. Potts, I'll set bonds of $5,000 on each of the 4 counts. The aggregate is going to be $20,000. Condition of the bond is that you'll not have any contact with the alleged victim. You'll not have any contact with any person under the age of 18. You will be subject to GPS monitoring at your expense. We'll have him back in court on the 6th of March. Right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
If the court please, that concludes my business. May be excused.
Thank you, Jim. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Shannon Black. One Ms. Black, what's your date of birth?
6481.
Blank the charge is driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, if you wish to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like a public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Judge, it looks like due to her lack of history, the state's willing to offer a time served offer.
Okay. Shannon, would you be interested in taking time served on this morning? You could plead no contest. I would adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to the 1 day in the county jail that you've already served, assess the fine and court costs. This would be over. You'd be out this morning. Is that something you're interested in?
Yes, sir.
Very good. You understand by entering a plea, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer represent you, but you're willing to give up those rights so we can resolve this case today?
Yes, sir.
As to the charge that you drove knowing your license had been suspended or revoked, how do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest. Means you're not fighting the charge, Shannon. Do you want to plead no contest?
I'm not fighting the charge.
Very good. I'll accept the plea. Find that it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in the county jail, credit 1 day served. You have fine and court costs of $438 through cost of incarceration. If that takes care of it, Shannon. If there's nothing else keeping you in the jail, you'll be released today, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. Now, unappointed. Susan Bowen. On to Ms. Bowen, what's your date of birth?
7754.
Susan, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender?
I'll appoint the public defender. Bond on the warrant is no bond. Unfortunately, I can't change that. I'm going to change your date. They told you the 6th of March. I'm going to have you back in front of Judge Toner on the 26th of February. And the public defender will come visit with you at the jail prior to your court date, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rita Fulham. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
August 26th of 1983.
Rita, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Scaglione. You found probable cause for 2 charges, false imprisonment and battery, being domestic in nature. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender?
I'll appoint the PD. State what you tell me.
Judge, it looks like 2010, on a Pasco, I have a battery that was ultimately dropped in 2008. A very hefty littering charge with no disposition out of Pasco. Another battery was ultimately dropped in 2007.
And Rita, I have an address for you on Hastings Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
About 4 years, Your Honor.
Do you have a job these days?
Currently, no. I just recently stopped working.
You set your bond on the false imprisonment at $1,000 on the battery, or $2,000 on the battery at $1,000. The total is $3,000. Condition of those bonds is that you'll have no contact with Wesley Edwards. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact him through any social media. You don't have a third person contact him. Don't go where he lives, don't go where he works. You don't have any contact of any kind. any way that you might imagine contacting him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond will be revoked and you'll be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants to contact. So if you answer your phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision he can make. He may go to the state attorney's office and ask that the charges be dropped, may tell them that he's not interested in pursuing this matter, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. I'm going to have you back in court on the 6th of March. Very important that you contact the public defender's office when you get out of jail, okay?
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Cara Perini. Want to miss what you did at birth?
6281.
Ms. Perini, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Rupi. Apparently you failed to appear in her court on a charge of possession of paraphernalia. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'm sorry?
Public defender, please.
All right, I'll appoint the PD. State.
Judge, the state today is offering 60 days. That's been her original offer. She failed to appear November 8th, 2017 on the same case, as well as a January 3rd, 2018 failure to appear. She has a lengthy criminal history that dates all the way back to the late 90s with multiple probation violations for the methamphetamines. She also, I believe, has open charges in Pasco.
Yeah, there's a hold. We have a hold from Pasco.
Yeah. So we're offering 60 days, Judge.
Ms. Perini, any interest in taking 60 days on this charge?
No, because I want to wait and see what Pasco's going to do. I got a lot more time over there in Pasco.
Okay. All right, very good. I'll leave the bond for the warrant, which is the $2,000. You'll be back in court on this charge on the 28th of February. They told you March 7th. The right date is March 28th. And if you get out, you should contact the public defender. Otherwise, they'll come see you at the jail, okay?
All right, thank you.
February? February, yeah. I think it's in March. February 28th.
I was so confused.
I wrote it wrong, too.
Confused at all.
Tina Reynolds? Wonder, Miss Reynolds, what's your date of birth?
10/24/72.
You're here on two warrants, one signed by Judge Scaglione and one signed by Judge Merritt. In each, they're for failing to appear. For Judge Merritt, it's on a felony petty theft. For Judge Scaglione, it's 3 counts of possession of controlled substance. As to those charges, you can represent yourself, hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
A public defender, please.
I will appoint the public defender all the way around. The bond on all of them is no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to send you back, it looks like, to see Judge Scaglione on the 15th of February. They would have told you March 6th. You'll be back February 15th. And the PD will come see you before then, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Brandy Verver. Morning, Brandy, date of birth?
10/22/74.
Brandy, this morning I've got possession of methamphetamine and driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself and hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, and then state I think she has an open case. Determine what that is.
She does, Judge. 2018 CF 221. It was sent for Judge Merritt's arraignment on 220.
Can I send these to 220?
You can send these to 220, and we would be asking for an RCO.
Right. Okay. All right, so Brandy, on these cases, I'm going to leave the bonds per the schedule, which is $2,000 on the meth, $1,000 on the driving. These are coming back. We're going to send them to February 20th because that's where your other case is. And then, of course, job number one when you're out on bond is don't pick up new criminal charges. It appears to me that you have. So pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your bond in 18 CF 221. So we're going to hold you without bond at least until you're back in court on the 20th of February. Judge Merritt can revisit your bond at that time if he wishes. And the public defender will come see you before you go to court on the 20th, okay? Lauren Whitlow. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
8/3/1994.
The charge this morning is criminal mischief. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself and a hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I would like a public defender for now.
Appoint the public defender. State what you tell me.
Judge, she looks like she has an out-of-state history from Illinois. 2007, criminal trespass to vehicles, driver license suspended, obstructing identification, it says. We do not have dispositions on those, and those were from July of last year, and then she has multiple out-of-states, Judge. And then it looks like she has some juvenile history out of another state. And those involve a juvenile escape, auto thefts, regular thefts, operating vehicles without a license. That's all I have.
Okay. Lauren, where have you been staying lately?
I stay at 3402 Cape Myrtle Drive in Spring Hill.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I just went to the Social Security office yesterday because I lost my Social Security card. I'm from Northwest Indiana, Valparaiso, Indiana, but I just moved down here December 27th, and so I have to have a Social Security card to get a job.
Okay.
But it takes up to 2 weeks. They told me 5 to 10 days usually,
Right.
so I'm waiting, for that.
Okay. I'll set your bond at $1,000. I'll have you back in court on the 6th of March. Very important, Lauren, that you contact the public defender's office if you're able to get out. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Gary Eckenroth? Coming. Sorry.
Should argue there's empathy in this case. The threats of
Yeah, I was gonna talk to.
Just real fast, back on Ms. Whitlow, is there no victim contact placed on her?
Oh, we can order. Yeah, I'll sign it. Gary, what's your date of birth?
4/25/72, sir.
Okay. And I don't know, Ms. Giannini, if you looked at the PC affidavit here. I don't know. I'm left with questions.
I ran my mouse.
Hang on. Don't you say anything. You are not going to help. And Mr. Cazziolo, I understand your argument. I'll tell you what your options are because it's Friday. If I find no PC, then I'm going to hold them so the state can get PC. I don't know who's doing weekend first appearance. I don't know what's going on tomorrow. I can go ahead and set a bond on it. I don't think there isn't an open case, right?
No, Judge.
Yeah, it's just the injunction violation.
Correct, and he only has one thing from the 9th. It was a grand theft.
Okay. All right. So, because for me, there's not. I think it may be that somebody could tell me more, and there might be probable cause. Right now, I'm not sure that there is. Well, I'm going to find that there isn't, but I'm still going to set him a bond. So, Gary, here's what I'm going to do. For this morning, I'm going to find that there isn't probable cause for the charge. That does not mean that probable cause doesn't exist. It just means they didn't do a good job of telling me what happened. I'm going to set a bond for you of $500. And you can wait at the jail if you wish, because because I'll give the state a day to see if they can find additional facts to see if there is probable cause. So if you waited till tomorrow morning and the state didn't have any additional facts, then you would get released on your own recognizance without posting a bond. If you want to get out today and you can post a $500 bond, you can do that. But those are your options. In either event, you still have to be back in court on the 7th of March. Okay, so if there's no probable cause and you stay till tomorrow morning, you still would have to be in court on the 7th of March. If you bond out today on the $500 bond, you still would have to be in court on the 7th of March. And of course, this injunction violation allegedly doesn't have anything to do with contact with the petitioner, but you obviously cannot have contact with her. So do you understand what we're doing today?
Yes, sir. I'd rather bond out because
okay,
I need my medicine.
And I understand that, Gary. So that's fine. If you go right ahead and bond out. You want me to appoint you a lawyer? You're going to hire your own lawyer?
State's attorney, please. Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. We set your bond at $500. Condition is that you abide by that injunction. I will tell you, when telling you to abide by that injunction, is that if you own firearms, the injunction apparently says that you're supposed to turn them into the sheriff. So there's that. And then you'll be back in court on the 7th of March, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So he'll be ROR tomorrow, Judge? He doesn't want.
If the state didn't come up with additional facts, which when I read it, I think they probably exist. They're just not in the affidavit.
Yes, sir.
Joshua Pfeiffer. Morning again, Joshua. Date of birth?
2/25/86.
Joshua, today we have another felony retail theft and another dealing. I think we appointed the public defender yesterday, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, there's probable cause for these charges. I'll appoint the public defender for both of them. I'll leave the bonds per the schedule, and did we send him back to the 6th of March yesterday? Does anybody know?
Yes.
It was the 6th?
March 6th, yep.
Because there was some confusion in this case, as I recall. All right. So, Joshua, we'll send these back to the 6th as well, and just like we said yesterday, PD will come see you before you go to court on all of this, okay?
Thanks, Judge.
Thanks.
Just to verify, there's a note saying that he FTA'd on 2017 CT.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday too.
Okay.
I don't think he's been served that. He had a probable cause DOP yesterday, so he's not going anywhere.
Okay. I'm sorry, what was the date?
3/6. Thomas Holland. Morning, Thomas. What's your date of birth?
About 1392, sir.
Thomas, this morning I have 2 counts on assault on a law enforcement officer, 5 counts of resisting without violence, 1 count of criminal mischief, and 1 count of disorderly conduct. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
Judge, in 2012, he had robbery with a firearm, misdemeanor marijuana, aggravated battery, use of a deadly weapon, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, possession of a weapon by a convicted felon for dwelling while armed. It looks like he was ultimately convicted on possession of a firearm and sentenced to 3-year DOC for that. In 2010, I had carried concealed weapon for resisting without violence. Looks like adjudicated on those. 2010, failure to appear. 2011, 2010/11, a robbery with a firearm and possession of cocaine. Ultimately, just convicted on the possession of cocaine. 2008, another failure to appear, offers juvenile history, and 1, 2, 3 violations of probation with juvenile history, and that looks like it was for aggravated batteries, possessions of controlled substances, and also offers juvenile, more controlled substances, and that was from 2007.
Okay. And Thomas, I have an address for you on Holly Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
637.
Yep. Okay. How long
All
you been
right.
there?
Ooh, long time.
Okay. Got a job these days, Thomas?
No, sir.
Okay. I'm going to leave the bonds per the schedule. There's a total here of 9 charges. The first 7 are first-degree misdemeanors, so those will be $1,000. The last one is a second-degree misdemeanor. That'll be $500, so it's $8,500 total. You'll be back in court on the 7th of March. If you get out, Thomas, make sure you go see the public defender, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Tyrell Kilbride. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
11/24/87.
Tyrell, I have a warrant for you out of Pinellas County. The judge that issued the warrant looks like for a fail to appear on a domestic battery by strangulation. The judge that issued it set your bond at no bond. I can't change that. We'll let Pinellas County know that you're here and ready to go. And we'll give them 5 days to come get you. If they haven't picked you up in 5 days, they'll bring you back to see me, and I'll find out what the holdup is, all right?
Good.
Thank you. Francisco Toro. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
10/31/75.
Francisco, I got 7 counts this morning. I got possession of firearm by felon, possession of ammunition by convicted felon, grand theft, possession of methamphetamine, possession of marijuana, possession of controlled substance times 2. There's probable cause for all of those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
Judge, I believe you said he was on yesterday.
Yes, it was here yesterday.
Was he?
No, maybe I'm, there's a different Toro.
He's the passenger in this.
Ms. Verver's car.
Ms. Berber's car. Judge, his history is quite lengthy. He, I believe, just got released from prison within the last 6 months, and that is for possession of a controlled substance and sale or delivery of a controlled substance, or with intent, it looks like. He also has petty thefts from 2017, adjudicated guilty, grand thefts, robbery with says no firearm or deadly weapon, adjudicated guilty on that. That's what he served prison for. Criminal mission from 2016. I have a burglary of a conveyance in 2013 that adjudicated guilty on that. Possession of paraphernalia, more thefts, more drugs. This is all just now finally to 2010 with failure to appear, violation of probation, dealing with stolen property in 2011. More probation violations in 2008. Another looks like failed to obey law enforcement, aka claim to elude in 2008. Travel license suspended. Another claim in 2006. 2005 failure to appear. It just goes.
That's me. Mr. Toro, I don't have an address for you. Where have you been staying lately? Mr. Toro?
Who's that?
Where have you been staying lately?
Back to jail.
Super. I'll leave the bonds per the schedule. That's a total of $26,000. You'll be back in court on the 6th of March. Thank you. Derek Ulmer. Morning, Derek. What's your date of birth?
10/24/1977.
Derek, I have 3 warrants for you, all signed by Judge Toner. They're all for failing to appear. The first one is on a charge of defrauding and a dealing. The second one is defrauding and dealing. And the third one is defrauding and dealing. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender for right now.
Appoint the public defender. Unfortunately, I can't change those bonds. So on the first warrant, the total is $4,000. On the second, it's $4,000. On the third, it's $8,000. So that's a total of $16,000. We'll have all of these come back on the 26th of February. They told you the 6th of March, but you'll be back on the 26th of February. If you get out, you should contact the PD's office right away. If you can't get out, they'll come see you at the jail, okay?
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure can.
I drove away from the law. I turned myself in. Does that take a serious? Can I get a bond reduction? I'm a caretaker of my father, and he's in the parking lot blind right now, and I'm trying to ask.
Eric, what I'm telling you is that this is a warrant issued by a circuit judge in my county, so the answer is I can't give you a bond reduction. Judge Toner can if he wants to. That's why I said if you can't get out, the PD will come see you right away, and if there's a way to get you a reduced bond, that's who's going to help you with it. I lack the authority to change your bond this morning, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Jorge Velez. Morning again,
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning again, Mr. Velez. Date of birth?
12/26/78.
We have another count this morning of felony petty theft. There's probable cause for the charge. And represent yourself. Hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
Appoint the PD. And we sent him to March 6th yesterday. I think we did. Do you remember, Mr. Velez, March 6th, the date you got yesterday?
Yes, sir.
I think so too. All right. Leave the bond on this one per the schedule, which is the $2,000. We'll add it with your other cases on the 6th of March. Same thing. If you get out, go see the PD. Otherwise, they'll come see you at the jail. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
And Edward Wilkes. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
Good morning. 10/19/1959.
All right, Mr. Wilkes. This is a charge of battery on a person 65 or older. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Judge, this is the only stuff I see for Florida. It does have very old history out of state. I just want to verify that it's nothing crazy violent, but everything looks like it's thefts from the early 2000s. There is an assault from New York. It looks like an assault third degree with intent to cause physical injury, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and obstruction of governmental administration, and petty thefts. And then it looks like back into the early 90s, it's just got a lot of DUIs and stuff like that. Same type of charges throughout the 80s.
Okay. Edward, I have an address for you on Linden Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
I first came down February last year, left in June of last year, and came back the first of this March, and first of this month.
Okay. And does Donna live there as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No, but I brought all my tools and a vehicle this time.
Okay. All right. Edward, I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. Condition is that you have no contact with Donna. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier this morning?
Yes, sir.
And you understood that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I also have to hold you today up until 4 o'clock this afternoon so that if she wants to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only might your bond here be revoked, but you could get a new charge for violating the injunction. Now, as far as that address on Linden goes, obviously if she stays there, you'll have to stay someplace else till we get this resolved. You can go by one time to get your things, your truck, your tools, whatever else it is that you need for wherever you plan to stay. But to do that, you must contact the sheriff's office first. They'll meet you there with a deputy, and you'll have a few minutes to get your things and get going wherever you're going. I'll have you back in court on the 6th of March. If you get out, make sure you contact the public defender's office right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks, folks.